The 1st of December marks World AIDS Day on the international calendar. In this breath, we convey our heartfelt appreciation to all global stakeholders that have lent a hand in one way or the other to spread awareness and destigmatize the global epidemic. Good evening and welcome to Primetime News with me, Joy Goses. We begin tonight's bulletin in the Prime Minister's office, where Prime Minister Saragukongelwa Madila says genocide money will not go to government, but that a special purpose vehicle will be established outside government for the funds to be used exclusively on programs for affected communities. Erasmus Shaliahwe compiled our first report.
Another concern has been that the payment from Germany will be used by the government to fund general development programs at the expense of the affected communities. I would like to state once again that the money will not come to government, but a special purpose vehicle will be set up for this purpose outside government, and the funds will be used exclusively on programs as agreed with affected communities. The governance of the fund will be on trilateral basis with the participation of representatives of the two governments and the affected communities. Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members, notwithstanding the immense challenges we face in these negotiations, such that the payment that is offered is inadequate, we succeeded to get Germany to make important concessions by agreeing to the fact that it committed genocide on our soil and that it will render an apology to the affected communities and to the country, to be followed by payments for the tremendous loss of life and the untold suffering and humiliations of the communities, of the Namibian communities. There have been apprehensions that SWAPO intends to use its majority to get Parliament to ratify the joint declaration, in spite of concerns raised about the draft declaration. I wish to indicate that there is no intention to impose this declaration. SWAPO party and the government have from the beginning viewed the genocide issue as an issue that should not be politicized and one which we should deal with as Namibians in unity.
Rally for Democracy and Progress leader Micah Vikotora has tabled a motion in the National Assembly to discuss and interrogate issues that led to the strike at the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation and its subsequent implications. Vikotora made the proposal on Tuesday, suggesting that it be referred to a relevant parliamentary committee for further investigations.
Some NBC staff members opted to resign in order to access the pension money to pay their statutory obligations. Others already exposed are incurring additional debt by obtaining cash loans at high interest rates. The relationship between management and staff is at its lowest level, affecting staff morale and performance. NBC staff members are at risk of losing their houses, their cars, their pensions, and other hard-earned assets they accumulated over the years. All this as a result of a non-performing state-owned enterprise dishing out money to the very same people who pushed NBC into its financial mess. How did top management get it right to effect deductions exceeding one's salary? There are statutory limitations limiting what an institution can deduct from the disposable income of a staff member, and these were ignored. Is top management more concerned about collecting money that they don't care for and they don't care for the well-being of their staff? Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, the event at NBC before, during, and after the strike must be properly investigated.
Health and Social Services Minister Dr. Kalumbu Shangula revealed that Namibia spends in excess of 200 million Namibian dollars annually on the procurement of antiretroviral medicines alone. The minister shared this during the commemoration of World AIDS Day at Ocha earlier today. Mulisa Simiyaza was at the event and filed this report.
The government has invested and expended significant amounts of resources to combat the scourge of HIV/AIDS in the country. In the area of procurement of antiretroviral medicine alone, the government spent in excess of 200 million Namibia dollar every year. These investments have produced the required results, as witnessed through the reduction in the number of deaths in Namibia due to HIV/AIDS complications. It is indeed pleasing that Namibia today proudly stands as one of the few countries that have achieved the 1990 goal targets to reach HIV epidemic control. In this regard, we must remind ourselves not to lose focus, but to continue strengthening our efforts and to realize the revised 95-95-95 fast-track targets, reach epidemic control, and bring an end to HIV/AIDS as a public health threat.
The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture has announced that schools will close early for the 2021 school year due to national examination papers that were reportedly leaked by some candidates.
A media statement issued on Tuesday by the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture Executive Director Sanes Steenkamp said the official school calendar indicates that schools will close for learners on the 15th of December 2021 and for teachers on the 17th of December 2021. Steenkamp only said, however, due to the recent developments in the national examination in terms of the leakage of the papers, the ministry has decided to close schools early in order to assist regions to prepare for the continuation of the national examination in the 2022 school year for those subjects that are affected. She said the ministry would issue a statement on the matter. Schools will now close on the 3rd of December for pre-primary until grade 3 learners, and on the 8th of December for those teachers. Grade 4 to 10 learners will close on the 9th of December and their teachers on the 15th of December 2021. Last week, New Era newspaper reported that the Namibian Police Force in Oshana region arrested 2 learners from Elite Tutorial College in Ondangwa after they were found in possession of the national examination papers.
Stand by for your top roundup. In the business and economic segment, we begin locally. Minister of Finance, Ipumbu Shimi, on Tuesday appointed 7 members to serve on the Namibia Revenue Agency NAMRA Board of Directors, effective today. Lenia Dishena compiled this report.
A media statement issued by the ministry indicated that the board will serve for a period of 3 years from the 1st of December 2021 to the 30th of November 2024, was appointed in consultation with the Minister of Public Enterprises, Leon Jooste. The board members are Anna Nakale Kawana as chairperson, Stefan Hugo as vice chairperson, Francois Brandt and Sam Shivute as executive officio members, and Advocate Dennis Kama, Shireen Bampton and Peter Creer as ordinary members. Shimi in the statement said he wishes the directors the very best of luck in the execution of their duties.
The Old Harbour and List Group on Monday condemned travel bans imposed by the United Kingdom, the European Union and the United States against countries in Southern Africa. Shalva Wells compiled this report.
Japan became the latest country to reintroduce strict border controls on Monday, 29th November 2021, prohibiting all foreigners from entering the country beginning on the 30th of November. Old Harbour and List Executive Chairman Sven Time, in a media statement, noted that the travel bans were imposed in response to the discovery of the new coronavirus variant Omicron in South Africa earlier this month, and reported to the World Health Organization on Wednesday, 24th November 2021. Time noted that it is completely disrespectful, deceptive and discriminatory of our intellectual capacity, while also undermining the skill and excellence of a world-class scientific community. He stressed that instead of being recognized and praised, South Africa and its neighbors, including Namibia, are being punished for being transparent. Time stated that the action will result in the complete crippling of the economies of the affected countries indefinitely. Selima Shimwe-Feleni reporting for Nampa News.
That's all the top news we had for you this evening. Your sports update is up next. But first, the economics roundup and a look at what the weather has in store for us tomorrow across the country. From myself, Joy Courses, it's good night.
Good evening and welcome to Sport Planet. I'm Selima Shimwe-Feleni. In the sports segment, we begin with NBA news. The Los Angeles Lakers said LeBron James was ruled out of the team's clash with the Sacramento Kings on Tuesday after entering the NBA's COVID-19 health and safety protocols. AFP brings us more.
It was unclear if James had tested positive for the coronavirus or whether he had come into close contact with someone who had. The Lakers superstar, who has been vaccinated, must now return 2 negative tests before being allowed to return to the court. If James has tested positive, he could face up to 10 days on the sidelines, according to U.S. media reports. James and the rest of the Lakers roster were fully vaccinated before the start of the season in order to comply with local restrictions in Los Angeles. The four-time MVP had earlier this year declined to say whether he would take the vaccine, but in September said he had opted to be vaccinated in order to protect him and his family.
Moving on to English Premier League football. Teemu Pukki denied 10-man Newcastle a first win all season as Norwich earned a 1-1 draw at St James Park on Tuesday, but wasted a huge chance to deepen the Magpies' relegation fears. AFP again brings us more.
Newcastle were a man short for more than 80 minutes after Kieran Clark saw red for pulling down Pukki. However, Norwich was largely wasteful in trying to make that advantage count and fell behind to Callum Wilson's penalty on the hour mark. Pukki smashed home on the volley to equalize 11 minutes from time, and Norwich should have claimed a massive 3 points in stoppage time when Martin Dubravka saved from Pierre Lesmelo. A point does little for either side's hopes of beating the drop, as Leeds' 1-0 win over Crystal Palace moved them 5 points clear of the bottom three. Newcastle are 6 points off safety in their bid to minimize the damage before they can turn to the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund to strengthen in the January transfer window.
Your sports roundup is up next. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's bulletin. A friendly reminder, please subscribe to this channel, like, share with friends and family, as well as add your comments in the comment section. Do make a date with us tomorrow for your Thursday edition of Primetime News. From myself, Salima Shumwefeleni, and the entire production crew, it's good night.